Hi, I'm Tom Hignite. This is the Miracle Fantasy House. At least that's what we call it. We called it the Wisconsin Fantasy House. But this house is really, in its barest essence, a T2600 or a T2550. Okay, 2,550 square feet. This one's been bumped out, so we have a little more space than that here. It's closer to 2,700. Let me show you some things, okay? This, by the way, is what we call guerrilla shooting. In other words, we're not shooting gorillas, but our camera person we're not doing any lighting, we're not doing any fancy camera moves, we're going to shoot this continuously. So unlike our TV shows where we might spend a lot of work in the editing department, this is meant to be a real rudimentary tour of the home. So it's an experiment. We're hoping that it works for you. Kind of like as if you were here. You're standing in the dinette area. This is the front door right here. Give you some kind of an idea. If you look up just a little bit, Kelly, our camera person, you'll be able to see that we have a really tall ceiling here. This is going up 14, 15, 16 feet. Eventually, when we get another angle of it, you'll see we're going up almost 21 feet. The idea here, while I'm here, I want to show you a couple of things, starting with the floor. This floor came back from an idea that we did on our MyPad homes where I was looking at color samples of tile, and I liked them all. And I said they all work together. As I saw them there, we were trying to narrow it down. I said, why don't we just do a little bit of each? And here we have 12-inch tiles mixed in. This is kind of a dark brown and mixed in with sort of a gold and mixed in with sort of a gray and mixed in with sort of a darker black or what have you. So we've mixed this together. We've done this in 6-inch by 6-inch tiles and 12-inch by 12-inch tiles. So we have this mosaic look to it. We have a motif in this house. I love to come up with motifs because I've seen the arches forever and then the angles, of course. We've done a lot of round houses. If you step back just a little bit, let's see if you can get this here for a motif. I wanted to do jogs or steps. If you can look at the floor here, for example, this, by the way, is a wide 6-inch birch plank. This is hand hewn. It's a half-inch product. We could do it in a full, but this is a half-inch instead of a 3/4. It's pre-finished. But you can see how we jogged it. We just didn't go straight, or just didn't go angled, or just didn't go straight over there. We took our hardwood floor and we jogged it in. So here we have two 6-inch strips making 12 inches. They equal the tile, jogged in. I don't know if you can see that with the light or not, but it jogs in again over here. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 jogs. And while you're there, as long as we're looking from that angle, you can see that we carried that jog into our railing system. I mean, we could have done your typical wood railing, wood top, iron balusters. Nothing wrong with that if that's your taste, or wood balusters, wood top, but we wanted to do something different. So here we have the jog again. So we're picking up that jog, and you'll see it later in our kitchen and a few other spots. These are inset panels. Come on out here. Let's take a look at the foyer. A little more light out here, okay? And maybe you can step around into our dining room. You don't have to see that it's a dining room yet, but that's where you are. So if I come in the front door, I go that way, you are in the beginning part of the dining room. Take a look at these railings again. Now, this is hardly anything you've ever seen before. And that's good in our book. We want you to walk into our homes and say, I've never seen that before. So therefore, that's why we do that. Here we have a large type of drywall cornering. This looks like fancy $1 million millwork. This is all smooth painted. This is sprayed. And here, this is an inset panel. If you saw our drywall video where we did the same sort of a walk through guerrilla shooting, you would have seen that we layered one drywall layer on top of another. Here we have a rough, this you can't see it but this is rough texture. This is painted gray to kind of pick up some of the tile color. And then this is drywall, hollow plastic that is mitered and put together on top of it. So this is a square drywall corner, but it really looks like painted woodwork because we used a shiny sort of a semi-gloss on this, where we used an eggshell on this, and it really comes together nice. Take a look from another angle. Maybe you can just work your way around this way, Kelly, and see once what we did now. Now, you stay there. I'm going to walk up just a little bit, and I'm going to show you what we did here. This is the jogging again. You see, remember how I showed you the jogging on the other side? But look what we're doing with the steps. We're jogging them out too. See how this comes out 3 inches, 3 inches? So we're jogging back at the same time that we're jogging up. So this is a 4-foot wide staircase here, but it's 4'3" here, and it's 4'6" here. So instead of doing the curved stair, which, we do those too, but that can be, you've seen that before. I've seen that before. Somebody will come in your house, I've never seen that before. This little board, which is called a false stringer, is not really a board at all. It's got a slight round to the top, but this is all made out of drywall as well. So you can see the beautiful panel work, at least I think it's beautiful, that goes up here. And it's not your typical wood spindles, iron spindles. It is something really cool. Now, if I can shift you over just a little bit to that side, you don't have to go over a lot. I love these videos because I can go on for hours and hours and you can just turn me off when you get bored. So hopefully you're not getting too bored. This is a leaded glass window. Not a very expensive one. It's you've seen these at the home improvement stores. And in this leaded glass window, it lets the light come through. It's kind of pretty because when you first come in the house, on the front of the door, there's an oval glass on the front of the door. Well, this is one of the first things you see, and it's leaded glass there. So we have this here. So you're able to see through the room, but it's frosted, so you really can't see. You still have privacy. The other side of the room is a den. And you can see what we did with our panel. See what that color is? That just isn't paint. Let me turn my back to you here, but this is this is done with a layer. This is a layer of drywall that's been cut. That's about 6 inches wide, and it's been laid on top of here. This fancy molding, like you saw on the inset panels on the stairs there, is the hollow. And this is, because they don't make this that can bend around here, we did this out of a bendable round edge drywall or a bullnose. So some fun things out here, but one fun thing, we walked right by. It's getting a little dark outside. We're 5:30 at night here on a Friday, middle of winter, but if you can step back here just a little bit, I'm gonna maybe over, yeah, it's not too bad, about right there, Kelly. I'm gonna open up the front door. I wanna show you a couple of things, okay? First of all, this is a fiberglass door, and this mechanism right here, you heard that little beep, we have an alarm system on the house. This is an item that you may or may not have seen before. This door does not work this way, but it works from the inside. I can deadbolt that, okay? This is made by Schlage. It's a keyless entry system. If I press a series of buttons here, it goes red because I didn't know the right code. If I press a couple of other ones, it's 4 numbers, still the wrong code. If I press, there, now it's the right code. When it's the right code, I can operate it from this side as long as about 15 seconds. There, now it stopped. I got 15 seconds of use out of it. So if I get the right code, I can operate it for about 15 seconds. Now, what happens if you don't remember the code? Well, there's a key right here. So you can just put the key in and operate it any time. So you don't need to have a key for the house, but if you don't remember your code, do have a key for the house. That makes sense to everybody? Here's another item. It's kind of cold out there today, being that it's winter time. This, I'll put it on a little higher speed. If you're not as tall as I am, they have a remote control for this. We normally put it on a piece of Velcro right by the front door. This is called a wind wall, or an air curtain, depending who's making it. A wind wall is an item that you can keep this fan on, and it blows a sheet of invisible wind down the front passageway here. The idea there is that in the wintertime or in the summertime, it will help hold the temperatures into the house and hold the cold temperatures out of the house, even though you have your door open. It's used a lot on drive-thrus. If you've ever been to a fast food restaurant and you see that they have the window open, a lot of times some of the nicer ones will have a wind wall or an invisible air curtain. And in the summertime, you can leave that on. It keeps the bugs from flying through. You don't need a screen door. You can walk right in and out. We've done this before on back doors, going into patios. You're having a party. You just leave that on. You can go in and out. You're not losing your temperature. Very green product. Very energy efficient, by the way. And just kind of hiding up there the whole time. And we've kind of concealed this into, because it's not the most attractive thing in a house, we've kind of concealed it into this alcove here. While we're pointing up here, Let me show you some beam work. By the way, this is a speaker in our ceiling. When we're having music and things in the house, we like to have a speaker right where you walk in so that you immediately get some ambiance. So you're having a Christmas party, birthday party. We'll have that set up just so that it's on its own speaker. So you might want to have it set to your door system. You open it up, it says Happy Birthday, or it says Merry Christmas, or what have you. So that's kind of a nice little greeter as you come in and out of the door. It can be really nice and it can be really annoying. You just have to know where the off button is. The door here, this is a 4-foot opening. If I told you to go to your local store, let me back up a little bit, I'm going to show you something here. If I told you to go to your local store and get me and buy a 4-foot door, that's usually done in 2 pieces. It's a double door. This is a single door, and it's quite large, and it's quite beautiful, and it has this big frosted glass in it. And it's not going into a pocket. Most people think a pocket door has to go into a wall. This one is a surface mount. It's not a pocket door, it's a surface door. It does not close off 100%. It is not going into a wood jamb on this side, but it is a semi-privacy door. Now this glass here slides over the other side of this glass. So you know, well, if we just had a regular door here, then that window wouldn't work there at all. So this works real nice. You can see how well it slides practically all by itself. While we still have a little bit of light, this isn't the brightest room in the place, but I want to show you something. It has some bright ideas in it. Sorry about the pun. Anyway, we have a great ceiling area here. We pushed up into the ceiling a little depression, and we did a 3-piece crown molding. This is sort of old-fashioned. This house is designed to be old-fashioned, but it's also designed to have some very contemporary ideas. We have a house just a few doors down that's very contemporary ideas and the house. But we want to show our versatility, that we're not always going to be an old-fashioned builder, but if you want old-fashioned, we can do that all day long. Here you have a beautiful old-fashioned fixture that's hanging down here. Here you have this 3-piece crown molding, a little bit different color painted. You can see we painted this with a smooth finish. Over here, where we have, if you can work your way around a little bit, maybe stand in the corner, you get an idea. Here we have a baby grand piano. And normally this house ends right here when it's a 2550. But we push this out an additional 4 feet or so. And this here, let me just turn this on. Player piano, obviously. How about that? All right. Well, anyway, this piano is connected in to our entertainment system in the great room. This is kind of off by itself. If you wanted to practice piano, you could close that door. This is hooked in. I'll tell you how that works when we get in the great room. But before we get there, let me show you one other thing. Step over toward that way, and you can get the best possible shot of this. You may have seen this on another video of ours where we've been showing this, but this is a new concept we've introduced called moving walls. Moving walls is an idea that takes a room that's semi-open. This one has an opening here. You can see through to the great room, little lamp there. You can also see that we have, I'll stand over to the side here. You can see that we have some drawers built in here. Another drawer down at the bottom. And this is that door I showed you a moment ago, which slides closed nice and easy. It reveals that window. I'm going to kind of stay in that general area there because I want to show you what this wall does. Now here we have an opening here, okay? And here's the moving wall concept. Instead of having, doorways, you can have the moving wall just kind of does this. And it equates very similar to a closed room now. You have the closed big 4-foot door there, which is a custom door. You have the curtain, the walls that have moved closed. If you want to operate this, instead of having big handles, what we did was we screwed these pictures right to the wall. So there's no way they're ever going to get crooked, short of taking a screwdriver and doing that. You can see we have another poster back here so that there is something, it could be a little fatter than that. It could be a thinner framed art. But there you see it just kind of rolls away and goes in here. Now let's talk about moving walls for a moment. Moving walls are an idea that we're experimenting with, not only for in a room like this, but in a much larger room. I'll tell you that as a home designer, I've designed thousands of homes, and in that time, I will very often have someone who will come to me and say, one of the spouses will say, I want my kitchen closed off. I don't want to hear the noise of that dishwasher. And the other spouse will say, I don't want my kitchen closed off. I want open concept. When there's a party in that house, I don't want to be stuck away in the kitchen. So we're experimenting with moving walls so that we can take a house that has open concept and pocket the walls, place them over. We could have 3 walls over each other right here, and I could cover a 20-foot room with 5 or 6 foot wide long walls. It would just be over each other, much like a convention center would close off, section off a room. So we can take an open concept great room and close off and make the kitchen semi-private, make it completely private. We could do all sorts of things that would please both the husband and the wife or the partners that are going to be living in that house. This is another item I want to show you, which is a stained glass window. This is a perfect example of me going to a home improvement store and seeing a great sale. And they're saying this $1,400 window is now $350 because it's the last one they have. And I said, I just have to have it. So I bought the window, and I thought, now where am I going to use it? I knew we had that stained glass, or that leaded glass, excuse me, on the front door and on that window. When people look in this direction and see that window, that oval window, they're also going to see this. This is a very similar pattern. So what I did was we built a wall that came away from the main wall behind here, and you don't have to see this right now. You'll see it in a moment. I'm not skinny enough to do this, but this is a backlit stained glass area. It just has a nice ambience to the room, very gentle light. So we're going to go around and switch positions. I'm going to give it my little magic snap, and we'll turn off the camera and turn it on again. So here we go. And here we are. We're in the dining room. The dining room here is 14.5 feet long. It does have a straight line for where the wood meets the tile, and it's totally open. We have this archway here, and if you look inside here, I want you to look at the ceiling of this room. It's really just a gorgeous, gorgeous ceiling. I mean, if you went back in time, 50, 100 years, you'd see something like this, which has so many sculpted moves to it, going all the way around into here. This is just gorgeous. And then we have the second panel. This was all made out of drywall, okay? This is another drywall accessory here. This is drywall. This is drywall. We're using so many different shapes in our drywall sculpting in these homes. It's just amazing how this is done with a look of $1 million house, and it's not that much money to do it. This room is very generous in size. You can see it has the inset panels. We're using the gold color here. We're using the gold color on the ceiling. And we're doing something new in this house. This is our first experiment with this. But we're going to be expanding this experiment just like our moving walls, where we'll be expanding that. This hardwood floor that you see, which is the hand-scraped birch, is going along the floor, and this is subtle, but it's then going up the wall. All right, so the flooring that we have is not just going, if this room was just a square, ordinary, contemporary room, imagine taking just the square room and running your hardwood floor going this way and this way up this whole wall. Kind of a nice look, because the old days of, well, even in the 70s, which is the old days for some people, they used to do complete wood paneled walls, and they dated themselves. In this case, that they did have a nice flavor to them. So in this case, if you did the whole room with wood walls, it would look a little heavy. But if you did the end here, it's a nice idea. Here we have a touch hinge to make this go on. If you visit this house or see this cabinet, touch the hinge, you see the light go on. We're a little taller behind here. We've got a nice alcove built in here, and we have backlighting. We have some track lighting up here. So even if this wasn't here and you were just going to use this for a low bureau or a big picture, it really works out nice. Beautiful cherry dining room set we have here. And you can see in here we have the drywall returns on the window. In an opulent room like this, we're using drywall returns with a 45-degree angle here. This looks like it's all wood. This looks like wood. This looks like wood because it's been painted and really given a lot of attention. But yet if you looked all the way over in our other room, which you can kind of see from here, if you peek over here, you just stay there. I'll just point at it for you. If you look all the way over here, we're using wood around these windows. So you see the wood around those windows. So we are mixing it up. You don't have to have a whole house of wood surrounds, a whole house of drywall surrounds, unless you want it. It's your house. You get to get what you want. I want to show you the passageway to the kitchen here. The passageway to the kitchen has a nice light up here, and it has some wide moldings. But here's something that I'm kind of happy with. This is another one of our little. I don't know if if it's our invention, but it's certainly. Oh, you're getting dizzy? Anyway, this is just a nice touch. And most doors are made, I'm going to show you the inside of this door, okay? Let me turn on the light here so you can get a little more light. Oh, I can't turn on the light here. Must have blown out a bulb. Anyway, this is this door has a normal, panel door. It's a raised panel here. It goes in here. It has a little groove. You can get these, more contemporary without the little routings and the grooves and with a flat panel. But that isn't the concept. Let me show you the concept. These are always flat here. So we did something to stop that, to make it a little fancier, and you'll see it on this side. We added a piece of molding. This is a separate added-on piece of molding here, going all the way around this panel, all the way here. So now instead of being flat here, like this side, flat, we've added this on, and look at the dimension that gives the door. Look at how that just pops off of the door. Doors are always flat. Not always, but usually flat. And here we have created something that is just not that much extra money to do something like that. Now, if you're a contemporary type person, maybe this would be done just in square flat moldings, and this would all just be flat here. But it would give it some extra dimension to it. By the way, these are oval doorknobs. Kind of a nice idea. Instead of the handle lever, they do work as a handle lever because they're not round. They won't slip, but anyway, this is another idea in here that is actually came from a person that we were working with on a custom home. They said, everybody's got a pantry for your food. I want a pantry for my cleaning stuff. I said, that's a great idea. Sometimes it's just kind of relegated to a small little closet corner or sharing with your front closet or something. So this is a cleaning pantry, and unfortunately I just noticed the light's not working in it, but that's guerrilla shooting for you. So here we have a spot that we can, there's our security system. Then we have a spot to plug in maybe a dirt devil or something on that nature, but just a nice cleaning pantry. And then the bathroom here. I'll show you a vessel sink here that's kind of neat. Just stay right there, and then you maybe can close in a little bit later. But here we did 2 oval mirrors. Again, just doing something a little different. Just did the 2 mirrors, one over the toilet, one over here. This is granite. It's a granite sink. It's not an expensive top, but it really dresses out nice. Little waterfall faucet, little spigot look, and just a nice vessel sink. We have quite a few vessel sinks in the house. As we go through, I'll show you the different vessel sinks. All right, we're going to try to move back just a little bit more, because I'm going to come around the corner here and show you our kitchen. And boy, is it a great kitchen. This kitchen has so many fun things to look at in it. We talked about the stagger or the jog design in the house. Well, let's start with the island. The island has that stagger or jog design to it. You can see how it jogs here, here, and here. It's 3 different jogs. We're able to seat a chair, stool at the end, here, here, or here. In these 3 jogs, we have the cabinets jogged 3 different ways. So if you were to look around the back side here, and go slow now, don't get car sick on me. You've got a cabinet here, kind of opening toward you, a little hard to see. Cabinet here, and this cabinet is actually the side of a cabinet because we put the other side of the cabinet on this side. So here we have a recycler, and here we have a drawer. And these drawers are dovetail construction. They're solid hardwood, and they have the easy close system, which it closes itself. If I try to hold it open, it pulls itself closed. See? If you try to slam it because your little kids are running around, or it won't slam, it always closes nice and easy. We have the same thing on our doors. Let me show you the doors. This is a soft close cabinet door. You can see that it has a piston up here. Maybe you can't see, it's a little dark, but this is Doesn't close hard, it closes soft that way. I'll show you our cabinets here. This is an arrangement that you may have seen on another video. What we're doing is we're pushing our cabinets into the walls, more like about a wall thickness, very much like what you would do with a medicine cabinet. Now, by pushing it into the walls, that allows us to lower the cabinet the same, a little bit more distance, about 6 inches. Normally, a cabinet starts about here, about 18 inches up. This gives us a whole extra shelf that you can reach. So if you're looking for, we call these our easy reach cabinet design. If you're looking to get to the top shelf, anybody, any size, is going to be able to get a whole extra shelf out of this that they can actually reach. So that's an easy reach cabinet. And here we have we can open this up for sunlight. We can brace that open with a little hardware piece that's up there. This is a new design with called carved cabinets. And the carved cabinets are something that is literally hand chiseled or hand carved. You can see this design as a little leaf and as a vine, and it goes through and it kind of crosses over itself here. We have someone who's from European that does this on the side, and he is really very talented. We've done much more complicated things than this. If you look at our Grand Bay, we had the whole front carved with very heavy patterns, and we actually had stained glass in some of the panels. We made the stained glass go with the carvings so that it all flowed real nice. In this case, we're trying to keep it a little more simple so that it appeals. But you look at our Grand Bay video in our Home Imaginator show number 6, you'll see our hand carving and the way we did this. So here you'll see that we go all the way through. This is cherry. This is a cherry cabinet. Goes all the way through. We need a solid panel to do this. You can't have a veneered panel. And it goes all the way over to this cabinet over here. And if you are able to step around maybe a little bit, let's see. Yeah, you can get that. That's fine. Walk back that way a bit. I want to show you also what we did here. This again is the longer cabinets that have been pushed into the wall, easy reach cabinets. This over here was a 30-inch cabinet. This is a 42-inch cabinet. You can see how much taller it is. You can see also that we have these backlit here. So you have a sort of a decorator area here where we have the lighting up inside it. And the microwave we've lowered here. A lot of times the microwave is up here. We've tried to make this whole kitchen so it's a little easier for the cook to use, if you're a shorter cook, that is. Over here you see the stagger again. We've staggered out this. And this cabinet is actually built into the wall so that it can be pushed back a little bit, give a little bit more width here. This whole kitchen is pretty much drawers. There are a few doors, but it's pretty much drawer banks, drawer banks, drawer banks, unless we're doing a cookie tray cabinet right here. And you can see again with the stagger design, we staggered in this cabinet, we staggered in this cabinet, but we kept these two cabinets out. So we're staggering things quite a bit. This is a walk-in pantry. Once again, with that door design, with the molding, you can kind of see what we're doing here. And you can walk in there, go right ahead. It's quite a big pantry. It has 3 sides to it, although the door kind of hides the one from your view right now, but it's 3-sided like that. And it's about 5.5 by 5.5 feet. Great size pantry. I'd like you to look at our refrigerator area. This is a direct traffic path from the garage. We're 6-7 feet away from the garage. Carrying in your groceries, you're going to put your groceries on the table, the island here. You're going to put them into the pantry. You're going to put them into your cold storage here. We've brought out our refrigerator cabinet that's over the refrigerator out toward the front, so you don't have to reach way over to get to it. And again, look at the carving design, how it goes all the way across. We also put a small cabinet next to here, and you can see that there's just a little extra storage space there. The passageway that you saw to the dining room before is right here, so it's nice and easy to get to that dining room. I want to show you the laundry room back here, so come around this way. The laundry room here is made with washer and dryer. You have a set of cherry cabinets. They're not raised panel, they're the flat panel. and a little folding counter over here. And Kelly, if you can get into this corner over here, you'll be able to see that on this side over here, we have what's called a mock boot bench. A lot of times you're seeing the lockers now. We do a lot of lockers that are mock lockers. This is like a little mock boot bench. You can put some boots in here. You have the little top you could sit on there. And this is your garage. It's a 3-car garage. We won't spend any time out there, but we will go this way. I want you to look at the size of this great room from the perspective you're at right now. Just stay there. Let me give you a perspective of distance. I'm going to go way over here and give you a perspective of distance to this area. I'm 32, 33 feet away from you. Pretty good distance. And what we've done here, if you look right from that angle, look at the ceilings, what we've done. A lot of times, this is a conventional height 8-foot ceiling. A lot of times you'll find us taking our ceilings up and doing some great cathedral ceiling. But what we've done here, we've taken away the up feeling and we've given you more of the down feeling with regards to being more intimate. In those high ceiling homes that we've built so many of, one thing we have found is that those high ceiling homes can sometimes be a little mentally colder. They feel a little bit more like a big cavern and they're not as intimate. So we've tried to keep this house very intimate. Frank Lloyd Wright used to have a great trick. He let you walk underneath something low and then brought you into a higher space so that you felt that you had entered into a bigger area than what it really was. It also makes those lower areas feel more intimate. So what we've done is we've taken and made the complete perimeter of this room at 7 feet so that it has an intimacy to it, even though the higher area in the middle is 8 feet. Take a look. This is an alcove that we've created for a couch. Now, if this was a 2-story room, we could still have such an alcove here. This box or soffit that was built here, which is smooth, these 2 little mini walls coming out, all house this nice couch. And we have another one of those alcoves on the opposite side of the room. It's identical to this one. You'll see that in a moment. This is a love seat couch here facing the TVs. This great room, one of the big attributes of this great room is that there's 6 television screens in this great room. Now you might go, oh my goodness, I don't even want 1 television. What do I want 6 for? Well, let me explain what these 6 are used for. The idea of 6, 3 in the front, 2 on that side, 1 on this side. There's the other couch alcove I told you about. These are moving pictures right now, but you can get DVDs, as we have, and in a few moments you would see those, DVDs of all the great artists, Van Gogh or Michelangelo, whatever artists you want, you can get their DVDs. Let's say that you're having a party, and it's a birthday party, and you go to your computer and you get all the birthday pictures from whoever's having the birthday party. Or there's a Christmas party, and you're going to get all the pictures from last year's Christmas party or from all the Christmas parties you've ever had. And every 5 or 10 minutes, all the TVs that are actually your framed art on the wall are changing pictures. Here's a new idea. Well, it's a few years old now. We had gone and tried a new concept in entertainment. If you turn on a TV when you're having a party, it's an insult to most guests that you're doing that. So what we've done is we figured out a way to use your TV all the time, even if you don't want to watch TV during a party. What we have here, this is a long picture of the World Championship Surfing Tournament in Huntington Beach, California. Now, I shot this myself. I used 3 cameras, and it was a few years ago. And this is connected in. We had to use 3 cameras, and we have hours and hours of various places on mountaintops, by seasides, in forests. There's nothing to watch other than ambience. And the newest method, oh, by the way, there's a Thomas Kincaid right over there. See, we're rotating these things. And at the same time, we have Thomas Kincaid on the other 2 televisions over here. And these will just stay on for 5 minutes or whatever it might be. And it could be nothing more than this, just those pictures. The same thing with the sides here. You can do your 2 sides with pictures on them and do your middle with your actual TV. You sit over here on this couch looking at the 42-inch television with an $80 set of wireless headphones. You can be sitting there and watching the idea of playing a game on there. Volume down or on the headphones. You can be playing your video game on that television over there. At the same time, the husband, wife, or whatever who's in the room can watch the TV over here. Oh, look at that. We've come to Disneyland. Here's something we shot at Disneyland with the tri-camera. We call this a tri-camera system. And back in 2009, we had 3 10-foot screens that we created, all with projections, and we wrapped a whole room in this. So you felt like you were there. I want you to turn around if you can and take a look at our dinette area. Our dinette area is nearly 17 feet long. You could take the Waltons in this room, it's so big. We have built-in furniture over here. There's a couple of drawers to pull out. We have a 8-foot high ceiling, and we have an 8-foot high patio door here, going 9 feet long, 3-foot panels. This is this can become a dining room or a dinette. And if you seat here, you seat at the counter, you seat here, everybody's in one big room. You can seat about 24 people, and everybody can see the fireplace and the television. You know, one of the things that is nice about this room, where it's now dark outside, we're now here at night, and if you step back, let's just say over to that area over there at the end of the dinette, I want to show you something. We have backlighting in this room that is pretty different. I'm going to turn off some light fixtures, but I want you to look, okay? You don't have to follow me here. I'm going to turn off the light fixture. Okay, let me show you what we've got. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but what we have is perimeter lighting on the room. We have lighting here, we have lighting here. It's hidden into track lights that are going up and down. I'm going to show you that in a moment, how it looks from the backside. But this is the side lighting, and this, of course, is the surround lighting. We've put surround lighting so you have a task light over each couch for reading, and one over here. It's a very versatile room. You could set up 2 pit groups if you wanted to. But now take a look around here and take a look at this lighting I was telling you about. This is perimeter lighting for the room. Very subtle at night. If you turn off all the lights and just have on your perimeter lighting and you're watching TV or just have the fireplace on, these are LEDs, so they're not hot. And it gives you a real nice perimeter sort of a glow to this side of the room. And we have these on this side of the room, and if you spin around gently so that you don't feel the motion too bad, over on that side of the room as well. We're going to give our camera person, Kelly, a real trial here because we've got to get you downstairs. We only have a few minutes left on this segment, unfortunately, so we're going to have to race through our basement and our upstairs and not spend quite as much detail time. This is a train trellis. This is an actual smaller gauge train track my brother David got, and he constructed this train tracks with these pressure treated type lumber or cedar lumber. So we're creating this look. We've gotten a mural here, a photo mural of the New York Central System train, and this kind of gives you the idea when you're coming down. The outside of this house looks like the Disneyland train station, so we wanted to do something that told you that this was a train motif house. We have this basement here. It has a theme park ride in it. It is a train that goes completely around it. We're not going to have time to show that to you on this video, but what I am going to show you is a few of the things that we've done. We didn't want this to look like you were at Disneyland, that you were in a theme park ride. So we tried to make this very adult and very contemporary in here, so that we don't have anything in here that looks like you're at a kiddie playground. But we do have some nice, interesting things. For example, this is something you can buy, and it has a light inside of it. I've just turned it off. It's in the little filigree going around here, and it's in the design. This is 3 ghosts that are in the Disneyland Haunted Mansion ride. We drywalled this into the wall. We put little frames around here, so when you slide these in, it looks like you have these hanging on the wall. And we have 9 of those throughout the house. You can see the alcoves here, and here are a couple of more of the little pictures, and they're all different sizes. They're not all the same size. And I want to show you behind this picture, but before I do, I want to get you into, here's another one of those lock systems. Hold on just a moment here. There's our train ride. Behind this picture we have something that's going to give you a peek of what we're doing. We have 4 of these pictures through the room. So let's say you don't want to take a ride on the train because you're not the type of person who wants to do that. Well, you can at least look inside of the window and you can see one of our vignettes. This one happens to be of Disney's The Lion King, which was nicely painted and rendered out. We have some 3-dimensional characters in there. And you can then lower this and then you can go around and look in this direction. If you can follow me here, we've got a Beauty and the Beast type light over here. A picture over here. And there you have Beauty and the Beast. We have Gaston and we have Beauty and the whole thing going on in there. So this door is locked. This is what would get us back into Beauty and the Beast. But here you have inset here. We're going to walk around the back side here. This is a bathroom that is built under the stairs. It's kind of an interesting shape. Has a shower over here. Boy, we're going to get you dizzy on this whirlwind tour. And then there's a small guest room here. And in this guest room, we have a queen-size bed over here. And we have created the train track. The ride system I talked about goes completely around all of these rooms. It goes underneath here, for example. This is, I don't know if you can get a picture of that. This is our Aladdin scene through this window. We don't have everything turned on. There's actually a spotlight that turns on that chases around that room. And I'm going to continue walking this way. If you can follow me here. This is our let me turn on our water system here. There we go. We've got our water bubbling. And this is an effect that we can see from this side. It's an 8-sided fish tank, octagon. But we also can see it from the back side when we go through on the train. So it looks like you're going through Monstro the Whale. Jiminy Cricket is suspended in there, if you were familiar with that story. And here we have the theater area. Now in our theater area, we have a step up here for sort of a platform. We have a couch here and a couch there, and we have this great carpet here which has a look of the outdoor wilds here, sort of a African look to it. And you're seeing right next to a stained concrete that's on this floor. Now we took this same carpet and put it up here on this wall over here. So you're seeing that we've got a TV. This is a booth that's been upholstered so we can seat 6 people at this booth, and you have a lamp here that you can see that a little bit better with. I want to show you the entrance to the train where we board and we go on the train ride. And that is right around here. This counter, by the way, has been set up so that you can watch over to the movie that's playing over here. That's about a 109-inch screen. And that screen lifts up. There's windows behind there because this is a half-exposed basement. And here, get a better look at the entrance in over here. Here's our little horn you heard me play. And this is the train set itself. If you sit on here and you crank that, the train set goes through these doors and goes into Alice in Wonderland and The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Monstro the Whale, and Aladdin. So we go through quite a few spaces in there. If you want to look at one more of our views, you can go right through that little picture over here. Let me work around you here. And step right up here. And if you can stand all of the motion, over here you can see a little bit of the Mad Hatter standing up on a chair, just enough to get a little bit of a picture of that. And by the way, looking over this wall over here, the train comes right around here, and here, step back a little bit. All right, this is where the train comes through, and we've built this wall up so that when the kids are riding the train, the adults won't see them. That's Monstro the Whale's eyeball. You see that there?
Ready? Go.
If you're quite finished, remember rules number 1 and 2. Not stopping. After all, you don't want to be anywhere near this Unburned down. this story, he finds the boy and gets out of the way. And so can you. Crank ahead now, a little faster if you please. A certain genie's waiting just beyond the well.
I think it's okay. I didn't see it. I think I did.
Next, last stop of the dreaming surprises.
In our theme park ride, we have 14 different sound systems going. So we have 14 different things being said by different cartoon characters, and we're doing this all through what's called mini computers. And just by pushing 2 power strips, it's all on. So everything's on except for our special effects lighting. Our special effects lighting involves some very unique things being done that we have to go and turn on automatically. Now let's go upstairs. All right, this is a Disneyland bedroom upstairs. It's a Disney-inspired bedroom, I should say. Here we have more of those little pictures I was talking about that light up on the wall. We have interactive pictures. Look up. Your bed is up there. We have a big area here for craft table and things. Under the ground, or under the floor here, built into the floor, we have this built by the same company that builds a lot of the displays for Disneyland. This is a small version model of a Disneyland type park. You can see we have a monorail and we have a steam engine, and by pushing them just right and turning on the buttons, they will go around by pushing the buttons on the wall here. So it's quite a fun little thing. This is a 1940 approximately 1935 built wooden Ferris wheel. It was one of a kind. It was built for my mom and her sisters, and we rejuvenated, put on a new motor, and then we built our cabinets to go around it here. Then we did a lot of built-in other cabinets here for your dressers and such. We have interactive displays in here so that you can play with things as you go through. We have one there and one over there. And we have the loft upstairs, which is kind of impressive. Walk through this way. It's a little dark in here. We don't have a lot of lights, but there's a rock climbing wall right here. So if somebody wants to climb up here, they can grab on here, and they got to get the right spot, and away you go. You can climb up and under the rock climbing wall. So this connects into the other one. You're in a separate bedroom here. This connects in. This is a doorless closet. We do quite a few things with doorless closets. This should be up in the loft. Here. Stay. Follow me. All right, just stop right here. Here, look at it from this angle. Step over here on this side. Okay. Well, we're out of film. We're out of tape. So we're going to have to stop our presentation. Thank you for joining me here today. This is a back view of the loft. This is a custom mural that we've put in the upstairs area.